Alright, you guys, this morning we are back to work on these Challengers. First thing, we're going to get this front bumper bar removed, probably get this front cradle out of here, get this wiring harness and all that trim up here taken out so we can start getting this thing pretty much stripped down and ready to get out of here, because it is just in the way, taking up space, and it is no good, unfortunately, with all the damage. So we need to take the parts that we need to take and get this thing out of here. So y'all stay tuned. We're gonna get this thing taken apart. First, we're gonna start taking off all these 13s around here. Well, I think we're supposed to do that one actually. Maybe up there. I need to focus for a second. See which ones I gotta take off and which ones I don't need to take off. So y'all stay tuned. As you can see, we have gone and taken this bracket off the other car and put it right here. So let's go ahead and get these bolts put in it. Right there. And right there. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and tighten those down. Okay, that's that. Let's keep moving. We're gonna leave this one on this side for now. We've got this thing loose, but we need to go around back and take these lines out of here off the back. All right, so we got it popped off. We got those lines popped off. Now we got that sensor down there, which we were missing on my car, and there's another sensor over there. Those are gonna be two 8mm, and we're gonna label those with yellow tape so we know where they are if we ever need to use this harness again, or when we sell it, that person knows. I'm trying to take off all this stuff on these calipers. So first we had this bracket that was with a 10 hold on like that, and next we're gonna have another 10 behind that for this little sensor. Okay, now we got those disconnected. We're gonna disconnect this one for the shock. It's gonna go with the subframe. And now we look pretty good to drop the subframe on this side. All right, next we're gonna drop out that 18 there. And that 18 there. All right, now we're gonna go 13s up here. Okay, and then we're gonna go over to this other side. Pop this cover up. Okay, and then we're gonna go with these 13s right here. All right, now we're gonna break those ball joints loose and drop the subframe. All right, hopefully this drops them. Not looking successful yet. All right, now we got that one out. So we got two more left. One up here, we're gonna go for next, and one on the other side. All right, now we got it all the way lowered down, so we're gonna go away and go ahead and take off those two pieces of wood, And then slowly, one by one, we're gonna take each corner of these blocks away, and it should just fall right down on the ground. Y'all stay tuned to see if this works. First time doing it this way. Good morning, you guys. If you're not following the page, follow the page. It is cold out here this morning. We just got the subframe dropped out of this thing. We're gonna slowly add 2 pieces of wood up under each corner. I'm gonna take those away, and then I'm gonna take a breakaway at a time. Put one corner on that piece of wood. Slowly let this subframe all the way down to the ground. So y'all stay tuned to see if this works correctly. Well, that actually worked perfectly, I must say. So that's good. One more piece of the puzzle out of here. I guess let's keep working our way back, taking off that plastic piece next and getting this wiring harness taken out of here after that. Y'all stay tuned. Good Lord. Staying tight. Well, you guys, follow the page. We're almost at 6,000. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 1,000 there. We are back to work on the Hellcat. As you can tell, we have this wire that's not plugged in. That's going to be for our sensor. No wonder we have a code for that sensor. And it's going to be mounted somewhere here, I'm pretty sure. These are supposed to be mounted up here. So let's get this zip tie cut and get these wires mounted correctly up. We also gotta get this tightened in there because that's just crazy. You guys, well, we've got some progress made. We've got these wires disconnected, and we've got a hole drilled up here to mount that. We're gonna mount these somewhere up here, and we also have to mount this one right above here. And we need to drill some holes for that harness. So let's go get my template, drill those holes out, and see if we can get that mounted next. Guys, we've come over to our parts car. We've taken off the sensor that we need. So we're gonna go over to the other car and mark those 2 dots and get the sensor mounted. All right, so we put some red marker on there and put it up there. We got these 2 dots marked. So we're gonna go ahead and drill some holes. As you can see, we got the 2 holes drilled on this side. And so now we're just gonna mount the sensor like we did on this side. Looks pretty good. We used all the OEM stuff, so perfect mount on that one. Didn't even have to use any rivets or stuff like that. So let's get to getting these sensors on and see what we can do next. Now we've got it mounted up there with the wire connected. Fits perfectly. So let's go over to the other side and find the wire and get it connected. Huh. Well, we should have a wire here somewhere, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of digging to find it, it looks like. We were able to find it. It was taped up with these, so this one is gonna go right here. Like the other side, we're gonna have to drill a hole right here to mount this wire harness. So let's go ahead and get that drilled. Next, we found this connector, which is supposed to be connected to a crash sensor up here behind that bar. So let's go ahead and get it plugged in. Guys, as you can see, we got these wires to deal with over here. They need to be mounted up there, just like we have them on this side. We've gone through and got those mounted up perfectly. So we're gonna repeat the process on the other side and get these front sensors knocked out. You guys, we have them mounted up right there, and we have that sensor mounted correctly now. So none of this stuff is just hanging down here with zip ties. Next, we're probably gonna move on to this washer reservoir and see if we can get it put in here. Hopefully it's the same. Although I'm seeing this here, I don't know if it's gonna fit. So stay tuned to see if it is the same and it's gonna fit from an SRT. We're coming over to our parts car, and we are gonna take this module out because I don't think this is on the Hellcat. Maybe this is the tire pressure monitor system, because that is the one that I am having trouble getting any data from. Well, let me get this thing out real quick. Then next, we're gonna take off this module right here. Okay. And we're gonna go see if these modules are on the other car, which I don't think they're gonna be. So let's go over there and check on our parts. On our Hellcat, that was missing, so we got the one from the parts car taken off, and luckily those bolts are gonna maybe line up, so we're gonna try to use those holes. Got some blue Loctite on those two, so we're gonna get those two tightened up here in a second. But next, we're gonna go and get the other module that was right here. So let's go get it. Here it is, so we definitely are gonna need that. So let's go ahead and get it taken off and put on the other car. I just noticed that this module got pretty beat up in the wreck. So we're gonna plug it in and hope it actually still works. If it does, we're gonna epoxy this thing up real good. So let's get it plugged in and see if it's actually gonna work. Hopefully it does, because this is probably not. Idiot for that one. I just tried to plug it in and it did fit, but it was not the correct fit. So I just bent those two pins down. This connector is not the same as this module, so we probably need to get a module for this Hellcat instead of an SRT. I'm gonna go do some research and see what we got. I found it. So I think they had this cable plugged in over here, where this one is supposed to be plugged in over there. Like that. Or somewhere. Like that, maybe. Yeah. And then this is supposed to be plugged into there. So let's fix these pins and see if we can get it plugged in now. That problem is solved. That plug now plugs into there. Hopefully this thing is working. We might have to make a little bracket for it to mount right there. I'm not sure yet. We got this one plugged in up here, so that's good. We need to get it routed behind there now. But we are making a little bit of progress, so y'all stay tuned. I went back over to the parts vehicle and I realized that this was crushed up in there, so it was actually a bracket. So I think it mounted something like this, maybe. So I'm gonna weld it up in there and get it mounted. Tires taken off, and luckily my boy was able to get us some meats mounted up. So we went from this to these. So they're a little bit better, not the best, but better than what we had. So let's go ahead and get these put on and see if it recognizes these TPS sensors. Well, you guys, we are about to get this bracket welded on there. We're taking a guess at where it goes. The other one was crunched in and I had to cut that one off, so I don't have the original mounting solution for it. So we're gonna weld it there. Hopefully it goes there, and hopefully you guys will get that bracket welded on there. So that's good. We're gonna go ahead and put this module right here and mount it somewhere in there. So y'all stay tuned. All right, you guys, now we got that module mounted. We're gonna have to drill some holes to mount these little wires, but we got both of those modules mounted up in here now. So let's keep moving on to the next thing. If you're not following the page, follow the page. We're almost at 6,000 followers. Check the link in the bio if you want to watch the YouTube videos on this car. We got both of these modules mounted up in the Hellcat and added. They weren't even hooked up. They had the evap hooked up to the brake module, so we got it all routed correctly and all hooked up. So we still got a few holes to drill right here, but we're gonna get that done and get the wire mounted up and put these rims and tires back on this thing. Right, you guys, we have the wheels back on it and we have most of the codes cleared out with the ABS now. So we're gonna go ahead and start mounting all of these sensors the correct way. So let's get to it. We were able to get this one mounted. So let's go ahead and move over to the other side and get those two mounted. Back to work this morning. We're about to close up this episode. Y'all subscribe to the channel. We got this module all epoxied last night, as you can see. So now no water can at least get into it. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back in the fender liner where we added that bracket, welded it in there, and that should solve this problem. The module mounted back there, so that's good. We're gonna go ahead and close out this episode. Y'all stay tuned for the next one. where hopefully we can get this thing running and driving and ripping around. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and drop what you want me to do in the next one.